What's Going on Seaville was made possible through donations and services provided by Lighthouse Studio, Hollywood Theater Lab, Roxy Daisy,
Ghost in the brain. It's always on time, it's always the same, but after 35 seconds it's the same.
What's going on, Seaville? I'm Lana Young. Have you ever heard of Eyes on Art or family art jams? How about art in heels? That sounds exciting. Well, these are some of the community programs offered by the University of Virginia Art Museum, where our guest tonight, Aimee Hunt, is the Associate Academic Curator. You want to stick around to hear how they are using art to add quality to the lives of families and adults touched by Alzheimer's and children with autism. It's a very special program, so stay tuned for that. And right after my interview with Aimee, we're going to see a feature filmed by Paul Wagner, and I'm going to give you just a little tip. It has something to do with Romeo and Juliet. Stay tuned. Up next, Aimee Hunt. Here we are with Aimee Hunt in the house. Hi, Aimee.
Hi, Lana.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's nice to be here.
So, tell me, you are the academic curator at...
No, I am the Associate Academic Curator.
Sorry, I left out associate. The Associate Academic Curator. I want to make sure I get it right.
Yes.
So tell me what that means. Tell me what you do at the museum.
I plan the educational programs that the museum has for kindergarten through 12th grade, and the family programs and outreach programs that we do. And I also do a lot of administrative and support work for the university programs and the lectures that we do.
So would that include like reaching out to different communities, different organizations to get them in and bring them together with the museum?
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I just love the programs that I've been reading about. And I'd love to start with Eyes on Art. Because it deals with Alzheimer's, Alzheimer patients and their caregivers, correct?
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that program.
Well, we started the program, we started thinking about the program a long time ago, actually, because MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, has a program that they've had for several years, and it has become a model for programs all over the country. And a couple of years ago, they received a large grant to teach other museums how to lead programs like this for people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers. And so the VMFA in Richmond was one of their first, one of the first museums to develop their own program following MoMA's model. And then the VMFA helped us start our program.
Wow.
Yeah.
So paying it forward all the way.
Yes. And so we started ours in the fall of 2010, I think. In partnership with the local Central and Western Virginia chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. And they provided training. We picked a few of our docents who are really experienced to be trained by the Alzheimer's Association on sort of the different aspects of how memory loss manifests and what they might see on the tours and what it would be best to include on the tours.
So you say the docents are really experienced. What are they really experienced in?
They're experienced in giving tours in the museum.
Of your museum.
Of our museum.
And then on top of that, they're trained in how to give tours for people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
and are the docent positions voluntary?
Yes.
And they have to go through, it's quite a long session that they go through, right? Several
we have,
months or so?
We do trainings at least once, but sometimes twice a year. It's a 10-week program. They meet once a week for 3 hours. And they learn about the collection. They learn about different methods for leading tours. They practice doing inquiry-based tours. And there's a lot of study involved in getting them ready because our exhibitions change every fall and again in January every year. So they're constantly having to learn about new exhibitions.
Dedicated.
Yes, they really are.
Do you find that your docents, would it be incorrect to say on staff with the museum, are all interested in doing this particular program? Or just a select few?
No, just a few. I think we have maybe 4 docents right now that are leading tours for Eyes on Art. And the tours come, we have 2 different kinds of tours. We have a standing tour once a month that the Alzheimer's Association organizes for people who are still in the home with a home caregiver. And then we also do tours by appointment for different residential programs around the region where they will schedule a visit and bring a group from their facility.
That's great.
And those are like more advanced stage Alzheimer's patients.
That's fantastic. And is it a one-off or is it a series of visits? I mean, what are they trying to accomplish within that visit or that program?
Well, within the visit, they're looking at the art and they're talking about it. And sometimes the conversation takes the form of memories that are jogged by the work. We had one, last year we had a piece up by John Stewart Curry. It was a war bonds poster. And so there was a lot of conversation generated by that piece about the war and about victory gardens and war bonds. What were war bonds? Because some of the people, especially when groups are coming from the facilities, the caregivers who come with them aren't necessarily family members. Right. They might be of a younger generation and they wouldn't necessarily be familiar with that history. So that was an opportunity for the people with memory loss to actually take the lead in facilitating the education of their caregiver.
That must be so exciting to see.
Yeah, it is.
Them being able to grasp onto memories, specific memories. And based on what I read on the website, the caregivers have a really fantastic experience as well, don't they? Because their lives are so difficult.
Well, they do. And just recently I was speaking with Sharon Hughes, who's the creative arts director at the Alzheimer's Association, and she relayed a really touching comment from one of the women who came recently with her husband, and she said, when we're at home, I'm the caregiver, but when we get to the museum, we're a couple again. Oh. I know.
Wait, I didn't know I was going to need tissues in this interview. But, wow.
Yeah, so of course, we're always, the quality of life is enhanced for all of us when we visit a museum, right? Yes. But I think especially when their world becomes narrower and they're more isolated, any opportunity that they have to get out and, sort of be the way that they used to be together.
Feel normal,
right.
I suppose.
Really enhances their quality of life.
That's really amazing. Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that. So this particular program is by appointment only. You can't just show up to do this, correct?
Correct.
So how do they get in touch with someone about that? Can they go through the museum?
Well, no. For that program, they would contact the Alzheimer's Association.
Got it. Okay.
And they have, on their website, they have the schedule of when the visits happen, and you can contact them.
Wonderful. And we actually have the website, so we'll put it up magically on the bottom of the screen here for those people interested in that program.
Great.
Okay, so up next is the newest program, right? And that's, you called it VIA. And am I getting that correct?
VIA is short for the Virginia Institute of Autism.
Right.
And that is a residential, wait, that's not true. It's not a residential program. It's a day school.
It's a day school.
for children with autism.
The Virginia Institute of Autism is a day school. Okay, got it.
And they're not very far from here. They don't have very many students. And we also had some docents who were particularly interested in autism and giving tours for children with autism. So we investigated replicating the same model that we have with the Alzheimer's Association with VIA. And we had them train us on, what we needed to know about the disease. And we're just completing our first year with that program. The kids come individually for a private tour in the museum. One of the main issues with autism is that the kids, they're uncomfortable in new situations, and their anxiety manifests in different ways. And so they're not even able, even if they're interested in art, they're not necessarily able to come to the museum and enjoy the visit until they get used to
Right. They're worried about
the setting.
Surroundings, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things that's necessary for that program is that we let them know ahead of time what will happen on their visit, what the building will look like. Their teachers will prepare a book for them that will have pictures of what the museum looks like and
to
what will
prepare them.
right
Okay.
and what artwork they will see and what will happen to them while they're at the museum. You know, where they will hang their coat and everything.
Just plan it all out.
Yeah, plan it all out so that they know what to expect. And then when they come to the museum, they come with one of their teachers, and they have their own docent. So it's just the three of them, and they go through the museum and talk about whatever is interesting to them. And that could be anything.
So then in that case, do the children pick? Will it be whatever they're drawn to, and then they'll spend time with that piece of art, or?
They can, or it can be that they're interested in the desk, or they're interested in the guards, or
Whatever they
yeah,
want.
whatever it is. And we do it during closed hours, you know, before we're open to the public, so that they have, you know, access to the whole museum without any concerns.
And added anxiety.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic. So you modeled that after your Eyes on Art program. So now are you going to turn around and pay that back to the Virginia Museum of Fine Art, and then they can pay it back to Mama? I mean, is this going to be the beginning of something new too?
I don't know.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, we originally got interested in doing tours for for children with autism because of a docent exchange program that we have with 4 other museums in Virginia. One of the other museums presented about their program for kids with autism. And I don't know, I actually don't know that the VMFA doesn't have a program, so I'm not going to presume.
Right.
that,
nor should I.
I'm not going to presume that they need our help because I doubt that they do. But it is, I mean, there's an increase in the number of children we're seeing with some disorder on the autism spectrum. And so there's a growing need.
Well, and I'm sure art works very well with autistic children because it tends to be more of a fantasy world as opposed to reality world. I know very little about it. I studied drama therapy for a while, and they really work well on that plane. And I think it's wonderful. Any feedback? I mean, you just said that you're getting more and more kids. Any little stories or feedback from that?
Well, there is one, and it's not directly related to that program, but one of our largest programs is our Writer's Eye program, which is now in its 25th year. Yes.
25 years.
25 years, yes. It's this enormous writing competition that we hold every fall. We have a whole panel of judges, and their entries, we accept entries from 3rd grade through adult. And the first, second, and third place winning entries are published in an anthology every year. It's poetry and prose writing inspired by works of art in the museum. Wow. And so every spring, this is the fall, right? This is what we do in the fall, and this is what our docents do. They give all these tours. This fall, they gave tours to 3,000 children from the region.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. And in the spring, every year, we have the award ceremony when the book is finally published, and all the kids who won, or either first, second, and third, or honorable mentions, come for this big award ceremony. And the first place winners read their entries with the projected images of the piece that they wrote about. Yes. And this year, I had a call before the ceremony from a woman whose son was one of the winners in the 3rd to 5th grade category. And they were so excited that he had won. And she said she had an older son with autism, and they wanted to be able to bring the whole family to the ceremony. And she said, he hasn't been out with our family for more than a year. I don't remember how long she said, but we can't take him with us because he's too anxious. But it's hard for the whole family if we have to leave him home because then we're not together.
Of course.
So she was asking me what she needed to know about the program so that she could prepare him for it. And I didn't really know that much about autism before we started this program, but since we started the program, I knew what she needed to know, and I could I could tell her everything about what was going to happen, how the room would be set up, where the screens would be, where the stage would be, that, you know, her son would get up, her younger son would get up with all the other kids, and they would stand up there, and everybody would clap, and they would get their awards, and they would come back down, and then the next group would come up. And she was so appreciative beforehand, and she took him to the room. We held it in the Newcomb Hall Ballroom on the UVA grounds, yeah. And she took him to the room beforehand, and she was able to explain to him where they would park and how they would get there and what the room would look like and all of that. And then afterwards, she called to say that they came and it all worked out fine. And she was so appreciative of me, but all I could think was, you know, what a wonderful mother to do that.
Right.
You know?
It is.
I mean,
really, I know. Tissues.
More tissues.
Darn it. My mascara. No, that's amazing. And I can't help but get that feeling when you're telling me about the docents and just the program in general, just the patience that goes into that. But just what a gift it is for those families and those kids. Well, it really is wonderful. And the quality of the writing is outstanding. And the docents give so much to the program, including they do a lot of the organization. We have a chair of that program who does all of the contact with the judges and does all of the, you know, contacting the winners to let them know that they won and getting their writings from them, so that, you know, electronically, and editing them for the book. I mean, it's a huge undertaking. Evolved so much over 25 years. Yes. So for anyone watching, how do they get in touch about the VIA program and also the Writer's Eye? Again, is the VIA through the Virginia Institute of Autism? Right now, the VIA program is only for children who are enrolled at VIA. Okay, so if anyone wants to know more about that, then you want to go to the Virginia Institute of Autism. We'll get the website up for you on that. And then for the Writer's Eye, do they go to your website? Yeah. Which is virginia.edu/artmuseum. Okay, all right. /education. Just keep slashing. Yes. Okay, /education. All right, that's great. And then now I want to focus on your final program, Family Art Jams. That sounds like so much fun. They are fun, yes. I always tell the kids at the beginning when I'm dishing out the museum rules that this is my absolute favorite program. And I only get to lead it once a month. So it takes up one whole weekend a month. We offer 4 sessions, 2 on a Saturday and 2 on a Sunday. They are parent-child art classes, which start with an age-appropriate tour in the museum. The tour is only for the kids, not for the parents. Oh. I mean, the parents listen, right, but they don't get to talk. Oh, but it's the child, right? Child-focused. Yes. So I have groups. I have like a 5 to 8-year-old group, and a 8 to 12-year-old group, and we just talk about the works. We usually focus on 2 or 3 works, and we get really detailed in our discussion of them, both how they look, but also why the artist might do it, what the artist's intent was, all that. And then it's followed by, the tour usually lasts 30 to 40 minutes, and there's a lot of conversation, and the kids have amazing things to say. And then we should film that, right? I actually From the mouth of babes. I actually had one filmed recently and edited it down, and it's really great. Anyway, it's followed by an hour and a half of hands-on project that's inspired by the work that we looked at or talked about. That's really exciting. Mm-hmm. And so how do people get involved with that? Is that something that you can drop in on, or is that something that's private? Well, we take reservations. There is a fee. It's $20 for people who are not members of the museum and $15 for members. That includes 1 parent and 2 children, or 2 parents and 1 child. Extra kids are an additional $5, or extra parents. But we also have scholarships available. Oh, great. Yeah. Okay. And how do you get involved? You email us. Email and say, I want to be involved. Yes, you email museumoutreach@virginia.edu to sign up. We don't recommend dropping in because usually all the sessions are full, and we usually have a waiting list. Okay. Mm-hmm. Just out of curiosity, do you tend to see more of one parent than the other more mothers than fathers or both?
You know, that's so interesting. I would say we do see more mothers, but we also have really nice groups. We have fathers who, like, this is what they do. Like, this is this sort of date that they have with their daughters to bring them. We do also have more girls who come than boys, but, you know, we're getting there. And there are definitely some boys who are steady regulars.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
You hear that, Dad? Take your kids to the museum for the art jam.
Yes.
Well, that's fabulous. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Now, we just have a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
So let's talk about Art in Heels quickly. You're doing a big fundraiser. Is this the first one?
This is the first Art in Heels, yes.
Okay.
And I'm not organizing it.
Aimee is not organizing it. She's merely passing on the message.
Yes. So it is a gala fashion show and art extravaganza, right?
Sounds
on
great.
May 10th. There'll be guests there from, celebrity designers from...
Project Runway.
Yes. Sorry, I've never seen it.
That's okay. I have. I can say that that's fun.
Okay.
It's at the Main Street Arena,
It's at the Main Street Arena on May 10th.
And there's a whole bunch of different levels of entry, so they can find that out, again, on your website.
Correct.
And all the funds raised...
All the funds raised support the museum and our programs. Yes.
That's really wonderful. That's very exciting. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
we can
Lana.
sit and chat all day about you and the museum. Well, thank you for coming, Aimee.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
Thanks.
that.
It was
all
fun
that
to be here.
information. Great. And what's happening next, Mike? We're going to watch a film by Paul Wagner, and it is the extreme casting version of Romeo and Juliet at the Hamner Theater in Nelson County. Stay tuned.
Place, the Hamner Theater. Time, Thursday, April 19th through Sunday, April 29th, 2012. Purpose, conflict mediation between the Montague and Capulet families of Verona, Italy.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on my side if I say aye?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, I am for you, for I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie!
Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy swashing blow.
Pride fools!
Put up your swords, you know not what you do.
What? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, and look upon thy death.
I do but manage the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
What, drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward! What noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho!
A crutch? A crutch? Why call you for a sword?
Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all others depart away. You Capulet shall go along with me, and Montague, come you by this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart!
No, for then we should be colliers.
I mean, we be in call. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though still a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I'll take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of What's Going On Seville. I'm Lana Young, and thank you for supporting kids making television. See you next time, and spread the good word.
There's a big white ghost in the brain.
Did you know that you were supporting kids making television? What's Going On Seville and Lighthouse Studio offer a 100% scholarship program teaching kids television production skills by crewing and editing this very show. If you're interested in participating in the program or would like more information about sponsoring the program, please contact Dina Gould at dina@lighthousestudio.org. And your sponsorship is 100% tax deductible. Thank you so much for your support. And like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WGO Seville.
Nearly nothing, I was bad for the pushing the goose stains down are the same. I can't believe they wanted you, I can't believe they wanted you. Rabbit, rabbit, said the lady to the same. Oh, has she grown up? I see that she grown up. But it's the chip that don't save. Smash the pretty penny, but the pretty penny just won't save.
What's Going On Seville was made possible through donations and services provided by Lighthouse Studio, Hollywood Theater Lab, Roxy Daisy,
There's a big white ghost in the brain. It's always on time, it's always the same. But after 35 seconds it's the same. It turns over, turns over, turns over, turns over, turns. He's Gotham is the city for the saints. I'll attend the service from my car before the service. But lastly she knows that it's the same. And she knows that she knows that she knows that she knows that. But you're crazy, so let you know. I can't believe they wanted you. Rabbit, rabbit, said the lady to the same. Oh, has she grown up? I see that she grown up. But it's the chip that don't save. Smash the pretty penny, but the pretty penny just won't